Looking at the Singapore skyline today, one structure seems to ignore the basic rules of physics. The Marina Bay Sands features a massive, top-heavy silhouette with a 7,000-ton steel deck balanced 200 meters in the air across 3 leaning towers. This $5.5 billion complex was a massive undertaking, requiring 16,500 workers to build on a tract of land that, just decades earlier, was part of the open ocean. This illuminated night view reveals architect Moshe Safdie's core concept. The 3 hotel towers were designed to resemble a deck of cards being shuffled, curving inward to support a 1.2-hectare public park that looks like a surfboard resting on the clouds. While the sketches were beautiful, they presented a logistical nightmare. For the structural engineers, the design wasn't a standard building. It was a physical paradox that gravity was constantly trying to pull apart. To make the impossible possible, the engineering team had to confront 3 invisible enemies: unstable Earth, the downward pull of gravity, and high-altitude wind forces. The first fight happened underground. Because the site was built on land reclaimed from the sea, the foundation sat on millions of tons of sand dumped over a layer of soft, unstable marine clay. Engineers call this clay black toothpaste for a reason. This image of the Nickel Highway collapse illustrates the danger. If the clay is not perfectly contained during excavation, the pressure from the surrounding earth causes it to shift, creating a catastrophic cave-in. To prevent a similar disaster, the team had to seal the site before they could even begin digging. They spent a full year building a watertight concrete fortress beneath the surface. This diagram shows the scale of the subterranean defenses. They installed 1.5-meter-thick diaphragm walls, sinking them 50 meters deep into the bedrock. These were arranged in circular and peanut formations, allowing the concrete to act as a massive dam against the surrounding mud and water. This invisible concrete fortress was the only thing that could support the millions of tons of weight that would soon be stacked on top of it. With the foundation set, the towers began to rise, but they didn't go straight up. As this aerial photo shows, each tower had 1 vertical leg and 1 leaning leg sloped at an extreme 26-degree angle. Gravity was the immediate enemy. As the leaning leg grew, its own weight wanted to pull it downward. Without support, the concrete would snap like a domino before it could ever meet the vertical leg at the 23rd floor. To stop the collapse, engineers installed temporary steel struts, seen here wedged under the leaning leg to prop it up during the pour. But the real solution was internal. They threaded high-tension steel cables directly through the concrete walls as they were cast. Once the concrete hardened, hydraulic jacks pulled these cables incredibly tight. This compressed the concrete, acting like a giant internal rubber band that physically pulled the leaning tower back against gravity to keep it upright. Floor by floor, the jacks maintained the tension until level 23, where massive steel link trusses finally locked the 2 legs together, allowing the building to support its own weight. By treating concrete like a flexible system of tension and compression, they cheated gravity just long enough to finish the towers. Look at the scale of this cantilever. The 340-meter-long Sky Park deck hangs 67 meters off the edge of the 3rd tower. But placing a rigid steel bridge across 3 separate towers created a final, terrifying problem. Wind tunnel testing revealed that during a typhoon, the 3 towers wouldn't move together. Instead, they would sway in different directions by as much as 200 millimeters. As the diagram illustrates, if you bolt a rigid steel park to 3 objects moving in opposite directions, the twisting shear forces will tear the structure apart. The solution was to build the bridge so it wouldn't resist the wind. They installed multi-directional sliding bearings between the roofs and the deck. These steel plates slide over one another, allowing the towers to move freely while the Sky Park remained stable. Even the 150-meter infinity pool had to be flexible. It was split into 3 separate basins, connected by expansion joints that allow the water to move without cracking the concrete shell. By engineering the resort to yield to the wind rather than fight it, they stopped the buildings from destroying each other. The final challenge was logistical. Standard cranes, like the ones seen here, simply cannot lift 7,000 tons of steel 200 meters into the air. Instead, the team used strand jacking. The Sky Park was built on the ground in 14 pieces, and powerful hydraulic jacks slowly pulled the segments up the side of the buildings at just 14 meters per hour. Beyond the engineering, the project hit a massive economic wall. During the 2008 financial crisis, shown here, the project's budget ballooned to $5.5 billion, while a regional ban on sand exports threatened to freeze the concrete supply entirely. To keep the work moving, owner Sheldon Adelson committed his personal wealth to the project, while the team sourced new materials globally and maintained 24-hour shifts to hit their deadline. The gamble worked. By 2010, the resort opened as a massive economic engine, drawing tens of millions of visitors and adding a unique three-tower silhouette to the city's horizon. Today, Marina Bay Sands is more than a luxury resort. It is a monument to human problem-solving. Thousands of workers used mathematics and steel to stabilize the Earth, cheat gravity, and lift a ship into the clouds. If you want to see more engineering breakdowns, be sure to subscribe.